The video you're about to see first aired on the Chat Sports YouTube channel, but like all of our NFL draft coverage, it can also be viewed here. So if you want more free NFL draft videos for all our different team channels at Chat Sports, hit that sub button right now. On today's show, we're breaking down Field Yates' latest 2025 NFL mock draft, 1-32 first-round picks only. The Patriots, based on the mock draft order ESPN is using, have the number 1 overall pick, but they're trading it to the New York Football Giants. Number 1 overall to the Giants, number 6, and whatever multiple pick means for the Patriots as part of a deal for the Giants to move on from Daniel Jones and trade up to acquire Carson Beck, the Georgia quarterback. There's things to like about him. I don't know if he has the same ceiling, though, as other quarterback prospects we've seen come through the pipeline in recent years. But if the Giants drafted number 6, boy, they are in need of quarterback help. I'm actually a very big fan of James Pearce, the edge rusher out of Tennessee, so I am on board with Field putting him at number 2. They need pass rush help. They're not in great spot there to replace Brian Burns. Adding an impact edge, I'm all for that one. Denver at number 3. We'll see if Garrett Bowles ends up coming back. If you have a young QB, the very next year, I'm normally on board with adding a playmaker or someone to protect that quarterback. So Kelvin Banks out of Texas, he and Will Campbell going to battle for tackle number 1 this year. It's a good pick, logical pick by Denver. Tennessee at 4. Oh boy, you might have to take a QB at 4, and that's what Field Yates has them doing here. Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado. He's really kind of more of almost like a West Coast pocket passer, like get the ball quickly, read your defense, pretty accurate, solid arm strength, not the runner that I think some people try to make him out to be. Has to be better this year, especially beyond that first read, especially under pressure. But if Colorado wins like 8 games, Sanders is going to be putting up some pretty big numbers. Our Commanders take Georgia's Mykel Williams at number 5, freaky athlete, still like going to get more playing time. There is projection involved here. Field mentions left tackle. I don't disagree. Also, Dan Quinn could use a pass rusher. The Patriots, after trading down, get Will Johnson, the cornerback out of Michigan. I frankly would be shocked if they didn't take Will Campbell here. I love Will Johnson. He might be the best player in the class, but you got to protect Drake May. But Johnson and his teammate, Mason Graham, number 7 here to the Minnesota Vikings. Both those players are very special players at their respective position. I think Johnson's the best corner. It's a dynamic duo with Christian Gonzalez. The Vikings need a defensive tackle. Maybe Kenneth Grant if they're drafted later on. I think Michigan DT to Minnesota would not surprise many people. At least, for it being August. Clarity. Raiders at 8, Quinn Ewers. I don't have faith in Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. I need to see Quinn Ewers become much better downfield, because that's a big flaw in his game, and it's tough to make it in the NFL if you're not able to push the ball downfield. I think he could have a big year, though, in the Steve Sarkisian offense. If he improves that deep ball, he is worthy of first-round conversation. So prediction time. How many quarterbacks are taken in round 1 of the 2025 NFL Draft? It is the pinned comment on today's video, so if that ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Nick Scorton transferring from Purdue to Texas A&M. In general, when you draft a 19-year-old 6'4", 285 guy who has some really good bursts, that's normally a good draft pick. Like that's like sometimes you have to overthink things. You're like, oh yeah, you need a pass rusher. This guy's big, tall, and fast. Let's just take him. Number 10, the Saints, Will Campbell. This is a great pick for the Saints, isn't it? You get the LSU guy, a top 2 tackle in the class. You move on from the disastrous pick that was Trevor Penning. Taliesin Fuaga gets to go back and play right side where he should be. You plug Campbell in there at left tackle. One of the most fun prospects in this year's class, whether he is a wide receiver or a corner, it's Travis Hunter. Now, Field says maybe he's more of a corner, which I don't know if you're going to take another first-round corner if you're Seattle. You could also move on from one of your receivers and make him your number 3 corner and number 3 wide receiver. Have him play both ways. I just want to see a team do it. Maybe it's not the best for his development, but F it, let's try it. Another corner, Benjamin Morrison at Notre Dame. The cornerback class is really good, especially between Morrison, Hunter, and Will Johnson. Benjamin Johnson I think you'll see that mock draft pick a lot early on. The Steelers get a giant human at wide receiver. Wait, didn't they do that kind of once already? 6'5", listed size, a little thin, but he's got an unbelievable catch radius and ball security and just ball skills. Tetairoa McMillan is the Arizona team is fun to watch. I don't know if they'll be as good without Jed Fish there, but they got a lot of fun talent. Several more players out of Arizona you'll see in this first round mock draft. But first, today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Filters out all the fluff to show you only the incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of live tickets. You can toggle the all-in pricing feature to show your total up front. Seat views give you kind of that panoramic live view video, whatever, from your seat. Live photo view, in the app before you buy. Game Time has the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if you find tickets in the same section and row for less. So download Game Time today, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS. You'll download the app at GameTime.co. Go down to the profile, you'll see redeem code. Type in CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but again, create your account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today because what time is it? It's game time. The Colts at 14. Actually, this exact same pick in my last mock draft. Malachi Starks, dynamic safety player. Indy needs one. It's a lower premium, quote-unquote, position, but got to get some talent in there if you're Indy. Denzel Burke at 15. I was a little surprised he went that early, even though I like him as a potential round one pick. There are a couple other corners that we'll get to that I think might be a bit more intriguing there. But corner is a potential need there for Jacksonville. Love the Emory Jones fit for the Browns. They've got some long-term question marks at tackle. Jones, who might be a guard, but I think I'd try him at right tackle, still first in the NFL. Would be a good fit in Cleveland. JT Tuimoloau is a tough guy for me to put in the first round of mock drafts. Edge is a need for the Bears. I get that. I think there's a better guy we'll get to here in a couple of picks. But we've been talking about him for 2+ years now. That actually is kind of more of a red flag in most cases. He looks like a top 3 pick against Penn State. Do it for an entire season, and I'm willing to put him in the top 20. Colston Loveland to the Chargers. This is going to be a popular mock draft pick too. Tight end, Jim Harbaugh, Michigan. What more do you have to say? I love the value of Luther Burden at 19. I think he's the best receiver in this year's class. I think he should be in top 10 consideration. Out of Missouri, maybe not as high as I put in my last one, but still, kind of a yak machine after the catch, dynamic, shifty player in that kind of Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors mold. Putting him with the Rams, my God, that's unfair. The Jets get a big boy on the interior, but I will say Kentucky did put Deion Walker out at defensive end as an edge rusher, and it worked at like 6'4", 5", whatever, 340. Like that's unheard of, frankly. He's freaky. I think both Burden and Walker should be in top 10 consideration, not just top 20 consideration. Who is your favorite player in the 2025 NFL Draft? And let me know in the comment section of today's show. Dolphins get some more offensive line help. Jonah Savanaia, the guard, or maybe a tackle. He's a tackle at Arizona, might move inside the guard. We'll see where that ends up happening in the NFL. But Dolphins could use some more help there. No complaints. I love getting Abdul Carter at 22. He might go closer to 2 than 22 when this draft actually rolls around. If the Falcons could pull it off, it is a no-brainer. Harold Perkins. By the way, you're going to see Micah Parsons comps for both Abdul Carter and Harold Perkins. I think it makes more sense for Abdul Carter. Perkins can blitz, but at a listed 6'1", 220, that's too small to be an every down edge rusher. So I think off-ball linebacker is going to be his best spot. I don't know if Texans are in that desperate of shape for an inside linebacker, but I think D'Amico Ryans could maximize him. Patrick Payton, the edge rusher out of Florida State. A little surprised, see another edge there to Green Bay. I will make note this mock draft was done before the FSU Georgia Tech game. Payton he did not have a great showing. Long season, though. Time to turn that around. Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State here to the Bengals. Look, I understand plugging in a wide receiver because you're probably going to lose T. Higgins in Cincinnati. But they like Jermaine Burton long-term. Andre Yoshivas is going to carve out a role, and they have Charlie Jones. They've spent 3 picks in like the top 120, whatever it is, on wide receivers last 2 years. I doubt they spent a first-round pick on a wide receiver. He's a nice player, Ibuka. He actually probably makes more sense for, like, the Bills maybe, but I'm not interested in I like the player, not so much the fit. I'm unconvinced Donovan Jackson goes round 1, but I think he'll go top 50-ish. That's out of Ohio State. A lot of Ohio State players in the back end of this first round here because a lot of these guys were going to be like fringe top 50 picks. Ibuka, Jackson, JT Tuimoloau, other players we didn't even get to yet, / won't get to today. Went back to Ohio State to form that so-called super team and win a championship, hopefully. Otherwise, Ryan Day's they're going to be mad at him. So what college football team do you think ends up with the most 2025 first-round picks? Let me know in the comment section of today's show. I am a big fan of Takario Davis. That is the Arizona corner. I actually don't get cornerback pick here. They have paid Trayvon Diggs. They might not pay DeRon Bland long-term, but he's under contract next year. They getting good play start and nickel cornerback Jordan Lewis, and they like what they found in Kalen Carson. So, right range for the player, not sure I buy the fit, especially with all the needs they're facing. Potentially a quarterback, a running back, wide receiver depth, defensive tackle depth, edge depth. There's bigger fish to fry, I think. Isaiah Bond to the Eagles. I think this was done before the Jahan Dotson trade, but Jahan Dotson might not actually end up being that good. Also, this is just hilarious to put Isaiah Bond, A.J. Brown, and Devonta Smith out there wide receiver. That's so much fun. I actually love this fit for the Ravens at 29. Tyler Booker. I think guard's a question mark for the Ravens. Booker's probably the strongest player in college football right now. Like the stuff he's been able to do in the weights is ridiculous. I think he's a great fit up in Baltimore. Landon Jackson, the Arkansas pass rusher, I think is a decent. I would almost wonder if you want a twitchier guy, but I think it works with what Detroit likes. 6'7", 282, probably fits the Dan Quinn mold there. Dominant game against Alabama. That's what got him at pick 30 here. I need to see more consistent play, though. I'm glad Kenneth Grant went in round 1. I know there is at least one NFL team super high on him. Expectation is there's going to be a massive breakout season. Putting Kenneth Grant, who, did you guys watch that chase down play? He's 339 and chase down a 4.5 speed running back. Unheard of. He's going to be a freaky tester, and he will go pretty early. Finally, Tommy Hill, who receiver turned corner for Nebraska, I think is actually going to have a pretty good season for the Cornhuskers. So I actually appreciate the back-end inclusion there. Not a name we discussed previously, and I think is worthy of maybe more top 50 conversation. But still, I like it. I know who now is Field Yates hating on. Who is he disrespecting? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Couple names I want to mention that I've seen myself, other people that know more than me around the league like. Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State could be their first player taken, by the way. Alec Eilmanor out of Stanford is a dog. He just gets slept on because no one was watching Stanford football games. Why would you be? Ernest Green might be a guard, but he's a good player for Georgia. He's the reason why Mary Smith stayed on the right side for the Bulldogs. Princely Uman-Mielen going from Florida to Ole Miss. Don't sleep on him. He could be primed for a big game. And I'll shout out Dane Brugler for loving Siobhan Revelle, the ECU corner. I wanted to get a small school player on this list.